Every time we do this, it is like Christmas came early. Every time. So this is the beef. We just took off a half beef. There is a lot of ground, there's a lot of steaks, there's a lot of roast. I love today. Today is the best day, it always is. When we bought our property I guess 3.5 years ago now, we had no intention of raising our own food. Megan swore up and down that she was never going to kill anything that she had raised herself, and we didn't do it growing up in my house, so it's not like I was planning on doing that. We were here about, I think, 2 weeks, and she looked at me one night and said, I want to get a beef steer. And I thought somebody had abducted my wife and replaced her with like a clone or something. Like, no way. Like seriously, you want to do that? And she found one, and we went ahead and went forward with it. And we've done this a few times now. That first time, we both decided, yeah, we're never not doing this. And for us, the huge driver with that was when we bought it. It was 2020. We were in the middle of COVID. Kind of, the shutdowns were still going on in some places. We were kind of getting out of them here in Kentucky, but grocery store shelves were still hit or miss. They were kind of empty. And the security factor of knowing that freezer is full, and the only thing we have to do is make sure that it keeps having power to it. If everything else just completely crapped out on us, we had food that we could eat. And thank God, nothing like that has happened since then. Of course, you never know what the future holds, I guess. But having a young family and being the provider for them, and having that peace of mind, that insurance to know that we're set. If something happens, we're okay. And so we've raised a few beef steers now, and last spring we did meat chickens for the first time, and this year we did a few turkeys that we're going to have for Thanksgiving dinner. And we did it at first for the security factor, and now it is all about, well, some of the security still, it's not all about it, the quality of the meat that we are providing for our families, for our kids to grow, for us to keep doing all the things that we like to do. The quality and the taste are so much better than anything that you're going to get at the store, I guess, unless you're going to go broke buying only the finest things. But we can't do that, and there aren't that many fine dining establishments and fantastic grocery stores where we live. So being able to go to the freezer and just picking something out, that's better than anything that we can get at any store around here. You can't beat it. And one of the best things is it doesn't take a lot of land to be able to do this. We have 10 acres or just under 10 acres here, but everything that we've done so far has been on about a 3-acre range close to the house, and really it probably wouldn't even take that much. Cattle eat a lot, I guess, unless you want to feed a bunch of hay, they need more grazing, but our little goats, which we don't eat, we use them for dairy, they do all that. Our meat chickens we raised out here in the field, it doesn't take a lot of land. This is a very accessible thing that I think more people ought to do. And certainly, if you're not going to do it yourself, I would really encourage you to find people locally who are making this stuff for sale. Find a local farmer or a local rancher, somebody who's growing meat the way that you want to eat it. For one, you're going to support your local economy that way, but you know what's going into your family's body. The ground beef we eat came from one cow. It wasn't whatever else you might find at Walmart. Don't even want to think about that. It wasn't shipped in from somewhere overseas or from, I don't know. It came from right here. It came from my backyard. And before that, before we bought it, it came from a local farmer here. So we supported him, and then we got to take him to a local processing place and support them as well. Bought our feed from a local feed mill. It feels really good to have that community sense. Everything that we're doing here is local, it's close by. Everything's sourced from places near to us. What more can you ask for? In the past, we've shared some numbers and figures on how much meat you get out of a half beef, or what does it cost to do this yourself. I'm not going to do any of that today, but I do want to tell you, this beef steer that we raised this time, we really didn't pour the feed into him. So some of that, he grew really well. Now some of that is going to be, the environment that he was raised in, very stress-free, so he's going to be able to put on weight well that way. But it's also something to do with genetics. We bought this from a guy who's got a very well-established cattle herd, and his steers grow really well. We've heard that from other people around in our community. But we didn't completely load him up on feed. He still finished bigger than any other steer that we have raised to this point. I guess this is the 5th one we've done, I think it's the 5th one. He finished between 1,300 and 1,400 pounds. I don't have an exact live weight because we didn't get a scale on him, but we can assume somewhere in the 1,350, 1,400 pound range. Hanging weight, so that's whenever, the head, the hide, all the internal organs are removed. He finished at 828 pounds on the rail. That's, again, the biggest one that we've done to date, and all that translated to a half beef in our freezer, 238 pounds. Now, some of that, you might think, well, I mean, it was that big. You lose some whenever, you have the weight on the hoof, you have the weight once all the other stuff is removed, and after that you get some that's water and a little bit of just some shrinkage and things that, take some more of the bones out. You lose some more weight there, but you take that weight, and then of course we only got a half of it here for our family, and that's how we got to 238 pounds of meat. We also get most of our steaks, all of our steaks, boneless, so you don't have the weight of the bone. We're not eating the bone anyway. But yeah, we finished with 238 pounds of meat. 128 of that is ground beef. 128 pounds of ground beef. Yeah, that is a lot. That's several packages. I guess 64. There's 52 weeks in a year, so that's more than 2 pounds of ground a week for the next year, which I love. Super excited about that. A lot of burgers, a lot of spaghetti, a lot of amazing, delicious things that we can cook up. And again, it was all raised right here on our farm. Seriously, you can't beat it. If you have the opportunity to do this, it takes some headache and a little bit of financial investment. I couldn't recommend this more. If you are interested in seeing more about how we raise meat here on our farm, be sure to click on that video, watch all our other stuff that we have going on, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much. My name's Reagan. This is the GWP Homestead. We'll see y'all soon.